1-800-222-2222.
Now at noon, the LA City Fire Department is mourning the loss of one of their own this morning. A recruit was killed while rendering aid at the scene of a crash. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Samantha Cortese, in today for Lou Parker. The crash happened in Studio City and involved 3 cars and a sanitation truck.
The firefighter recruit died at the scene. KTLA 5's Kimberly Chang is live outside the coroner's office in Boyle Heights, where a procession just ended. Kimberly.
Hi, the medical examiner van carrying his body pulled into their headquarters just before 11 a.m. Family members and loved ones were seen following closely behind. Take a look at this video from Sky 5 earlier this morning. They were overhead when a flag was draped over his body. The LA City Fire Department confirmed that one of their recruits was killed early this morning while trying to help during a traffic accident on the 101 freeway in the Studio City area. A firefighter who knew him personally told me off camera he was in his 20s and described him as a person who would jump into action to help on or off duty. The fatality happened around 5 a.m. at 101 near Vineland Avenue. LA City Fire says the firefighter recruit was on his way to the drill tower where he received routine training and came across a traffic collision.
He stopped his vehicle, he got out to assess the situation, to determine the number of people that were injured and to try to render aid. The preliminary information is during that assessment and assistance, he tragically was struck, likely by another vehicle.
CHP closed several lanes on the 101 freeway temporarily this morning for the investigation. A procession was held from the crash site on the 101 to the LA County Medical Examiner's Office in Boyle Heights. We saw firefighters and paramedics stopped along the route, standing on top of their trucks to salute the vehicles as they passed by. At the Medical Examiner's Office, firefighters, paramedics, law enforcement stood out front. We watched as fire engines with their lights flashing went through, followed by the medical examiner's van carrying the body, and family members in another van also following the body. Now back here live, Captain Eric Scott, who we just heard from with LA City Fire, said that they have not released the name and identity of the firefighter recruit because there could be additional family members who are not local who have not heard yet about the incident. Reporting live here in Boyle Heights, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
A fatal gunshot done with your recklessness in the face of knowledge that your acts were reasonably likely to result in serious harm. You alone turned a safe weapon into a lethal weapon. But for you, Miss Hutchins would be alive, a husband would have his partner, and a little boy would have his mother.
Breaking news in New Mexico, where the armorer for the Rust movie set has just been sentenced. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed was given the maximum of 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors had said that she was negligent in allowing a live round to make its way into a prop gun. The weapon fired during a scene rehearsal, killing the movie cinematographer and wounding the director in 2021. Gutierrez-Reed will also have to pay a $5,000 fine. Some world leaders are urging Israel not to retaliate against Iran for Saturday's drone and missile attack that was mostly intercepted.
President Biden is talking about the escalating tensions. KTLA's Lauren Lister is live in the newsroom with the latest developments. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Glenn. New reaction at this hour from on the ground in Israel. Also today, we are hearing from President Biden in his first public appearance since Iran launched an attack against Israel over the weekend involving hundreds of drones and missiles, the vast majority of which were intercepted by Israel with the help of allies, including the U.S. Over the weekend, a major escalation of tensions in the Middle East. Iran attacking Israel. U.S. officials saying there were more than 300 munitions fired, including ballistic missiles. Israel saying 99% were destroyed and shot down thanks to Israeli air defense as well as support from other countries. One 7-year-old girl was seriously injured. Iran launched the attack in response to a strike widely blamed on Israel that hit an Iranian consulate in Syria earlier this month, killing 2 Iranian generals. Iran is a backer of Hamas, who Israel is at war with in Gaza. The big question is what now? Israel's war cabinet has been meeting today and over the weekend, too, reportedly engaging in heated debate, Israel vowing to exact a price from Iran. But the question is when and how they will respond. Israel's president has said they are not seeking a wider war with Iran. President Biden in the Oval Office this morning talking about it.
Iran launched an unprecedented aerial attack against Israel, and we mounted an unprecedented military effort to defend Israel. Together with our partners, we defeated that attack. The United States is committed to Israel's security.
If you are wondering what defending against missiles looks like, this is it. The Israeli Defense Forces releasing this new video showing footage from their aerial defense system. They say it's interception in action. While the president says the U.S. is committed to Israel's security, at the same time, the U.S. is urging restraint and does not want a wider war. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken speaking publicly today, also for the first time since the weekend's events.
What this weekend demonstrated is that Israel did not have to and does not have to defend itself alone when it is the victim of an aggression, the victim of an attack. In the 36 hours since, we have been coordinating a diplomatic response to seek to prevent escalation.
Over the weekend, G7 leaders meeting virtually to coordinate on a diplomatic response. And President Biden returned to the White House earlier than planned and was busy in the Situation Room Sunday. While in Israel, we are hearing from those who live there, reacting to the weekend's events, like this IDF reservist who lives outside Tel Aviv.
It was very nice to see that we are not all alone, and that actually a lot of friends, the Americans, the Brits, even Jordanians and Saudis, actually defended us and intercepted that attack, or some of it.
Today, the president meeting in Washington with the Prime Minister of Iraq. We are expecting to hear more from Washington this afternoon. We'll keep you updated. For now, that's the latest live in the newsroom. Sam and Glenn, back to you.
All right, Lauren Lister, thank you.
Today, former President Trump is in a New York City courtroom as his historic hush money trial gets underway.
This is the first time a former U.S. president has ever faced trial on criminal charges. KTLA 5's Trevor Shirley is in Washington, D.C. with more.
Today, jury selection gets underway, which could include both sides screening as many as 1,000 potential jurors over the next few days. Prosecutors and defense attorneys